You have two, I'll start on this end. You'll have 2 minutes to provide an introduction to the audience.
Well, my name is Joey Graham, as been stated before, and I want to thank N.O.A.H for this platform, for being able to come out and let everyone know who I am. I am very stoked to be here. This is the church that I grew up in, so I want to thank again New Covenant Lutheran Church for holding this as well. Many of you may know me. I deliver mail and have been delivering mail for the past 5-6 years in Ward 4, door to door. A funny thing is that I wasn't really into politics as much. However, knowing that you can't just sit around and expect things to happen without being proactive in it, I realized that no one was running for this ward, that a person would be appointed. And the person who was necessarily appointed may not represent the interests and the views of the citizens of this ward. So I decided to take the challenge, and I decided to step up to the plate. I feel as though I can be an ambassador for the people. I look forward to the challenge. I'm also an ambassador of the youth. And frankly, most of you I see pretty much most of Ward 4 I see every day. I believe that the concerns of the citizens are not being heard nor being met. And I'm not a career politician. I look forward to the challenge. I look forward to meeting most of everyone in my ward, as well as East Cleveland. And I again want to thank you for the opportunity.
Good evening. My name is Barbara J. Thomas, and I am the current City Council for Ward 2. I am also the President of the City Council. I have represented East Cleveland Ward 2 for approximately 12 years. I came from the area of labor. I was a labor president at Metro Health Medical Center, representing 2,000 employees. I also represented 107,000 county employees across the state. I sat on the Ohio PERS board, chaired that board as the first black female, the first black union woman, and the first woman, period. I was elected for all 88 counties. When I retired, I thought that my city needed more than what it was getting. So rather than sit on my derriere and do nothing, I got involved. And I've been representing all the people, not just some of the people, some of the time, but all the people, all the time. Thank you.
Hello, my name is Juanita Gowdy, and I'm from Ward 2, and I'm an executive Democrat, and I'm a precinct of Ward 2. And also, I'm a person that looking forward for a change in East Cleveland. And I'm just thankful that it's an opportunity of me just coming here. Thank each and every one that invited me here. And those who have an ear to hear what we got to say tonight, that you can take home and think about it before you make a decision, a final decision. But it is time for a change. And that's why I'm running for council at Ward 2, because it's time for a change. And I'm looking forward for a challenge. I know it's not going to be easy, but I'm willing to work as hard as I can. And I'm here because I love East Cleveland, and I love our community, and I definitely love people, places, and things that should be about a change. And I like a vision. I'm about a vision. And without a vision, you'll perish. And I'm thanking God for a vision for our city. And I'm looking forward to, even answer the questions or whatever need to be done to the best of my knowledge. I'm just here. I thank God for my husband that's here. I thank God for the support that's here and each and every one of you that invited me. Thank you.
Okay, let's start with the first question. I got several questions here about funding and revenue. And I'll start on this end and we can work our way down. What ideas do you have to generate additional revenue for the city of East Cleveland?
Well, it's very apparent that we're having a shrinking tax base as far as home ownership is concerned. Our city services are definitely not up to par. As far as, we can look at the negatives, but there has to be a shift in consciousness about the positives of what we actually do have in East Cleveland. There is a lot of land and there's a lot of things that we can use. Maybe if we can attract investors, make the city so that it's more attractive, that people will want to live here, that people will want to do business again. But it starts with the top. We need to know that we have a reputable city government that outside people will want to come and even work with. That they know that, there's a rule of land that is not just some of the time for certain situations, but that it's standard across the board. People are going to want to live here again. They're going to own and buy property if there are dramatic changes and improvements in city services. Something as far as fire and police and ambulance, those are things that we need. We should be able to say, not some of the time, of all the time. Okay, stop. But basically, I think to attract new investors, and we have to look at the positives of the community. We have to be community-based driven. There's things that we as individuals could possibly do. And look at their citizens, what they have to provide and bring to the table as far as their own entrepreneurship and businesses that they have. I think that's something that as council person, we need to look back and see what our citizens have to offer, not necessarily look on the outside of what they can do to help us, but look at what we can do to help ourselves. And I think that's something that there has to be a shift in consciousness, starting with one, and it has to go all the way full circle.
Yes.
First of all, the young lady is correct in the dilution of revenue. But first of all, you got to start with the top. You got to have individuals that come into the administration that knows how to run the administration. Second of all, we have a lot of things that we can deal with, like Euclid, for instance. Euclid is phenomenal. We got the rapid that goes from downtown all the way out here. There are things that we can promote that have not been publicized the way it should. A lot of people don't even know we have the theater here. We got a lot of things that you can deal with, and especially we're talking about land. It's not only just land. There was individuals that are involved in trying to buy things up here that we have not used. We just had a individual company or individual organization that just bought a huge 2-building up on Superior Hill for $4.5 million. So what did that tell you? That tells you that people are interested in East Cleveland and are coming back. We just have to promote East Cleveland, and we have to start getting our taxes paid and collecting our taxes, where we used to have an individual that used to go around from door to door. We lost that individual. We no longer have that person. We don't have individuals that collect money from people that are staying over excess of the square footage in their homes. So we have a lot that we have to do, and I introduced legislation for small businesses. Our small business here in East Cleveland has been the backbone of East Cleveland. And people are talking about safety. We do have safety. Somebody asked me the other day, is it true we only have 2 policemen? No, it's not true we have only 2 policemen. We have more than 2 policemen. We have firemen, and the council has authorized more part-time individuals to help with the police department and the fire department. So those things are being taken care of. And also, you want me to stop?
Please let us know.
Well, I look at, we need grocery stores. We definitely need a Save-A-Lot in East Cleveland. We definitely need a lot of other shopping centers like a mall, you know, a decent one. They took our shoe store away. I love Payless. You know, I really love Payless. And they took it away, and the man's store away, you know, and there's a lot of things are leaving us. And it seems like it's never gonna come back unless we stand up and bring it back. And all this labor and all this stuff that we talk about, what we have up under our belt, if we don't use it, we'll lose it. So I'm looking for networking with other cities. Let's see what they're doing. You know, whatever they can do, we can do. But whatever they can have, we can have. And I'm tired of going all the way up to close to Cleveland Heights to see East Cleveland Heights, when East Cleveland Heights can come all the way down here. What they got up there, we can have down here. And, okay.
Ms. Thomas, this next question is for you. When you took the oath of office, you swore or pledged to adhere to the laws of East Cleveland, the state of Ohio, and the Constitution. Will you follow the law once the judge issues its decision in the lawsuit challenging council's inaction on the petition, on the annexation petition?
Give me that again.
Will you follow the law once the judge issues his decision, his or her decision, on the lawsuit challenging council's inaction on the annexation petition?
Well, I'll always follow the law. That's what being a politician and representing the people is about. If you can't be a role model for your people that you represent, and then how are they going to follow the law? We have so many politicians that are falling by the wayside because they are doing irregular things. If a judge rules, however he rules, I'm going to follow that rule. If it's in favor of someone else or whatever, I'm going to do that. That's not an issue with me. Because if you take it to court and the final decision is that it's yay or nay, then we'll follow. I'll follow. Thank you.
Okay, this question is for Ms. Gary and Ms. Graham. What qualifies you for this position?
The needs of the people. The needs of our citizens and the needs of me stepping up, trying to qualify to make a difference in East Cleveland. I'm qualified to make a difference because I have a vision. And the vision is going to take place regardless if I'm not council or not. I still want to hold on to my vision because I know that it's a change that needs to be taking place. We cannot sit around and take this lightly. And I hear the people talking about how bad East Cleveland look on the outside. And it really do look bad. But I believe that it's hope. If God can do it for other cities, He sure enough can do it for East Cleveland. Because ain't no different from East Cleveland to other cities. And if we can put our heads together and just believe God for one thing, for a change, it will happen. And I know for a fact that it is a time for a change.
Council is a body of individuals who legislate. A council person is that connection between the community and that legislator or that administration or whatever it may be, city hall or city, management or what have you. What qualifies me, I've not been in council, I've never run for any political position, but that connection between community and the administration, that community and the city hall, being an open vessel for the people, allowing City Hall to be more transparent so that people are aware of the issues that affect them. As far as the procedures and the charter, the Cleveland Charter, those are things that can be learned with due diligence. Following the procedures of City Hall, those are things that can be learned and understood. But a lot of things that can't be understood is your connection with your people, your constituents. And like I said, having that mindset, going into this for the people, about the people, not for my own benefit, trying to have a vision, as Ms. Gowdy said, and taking the vision that people have and relating that and trying to produce something out of City Hall. That's what I feel I can do, and I can do that well.
Ms. Thomas, the Salvation Army bill was wrought with a lot of delays and just a lot of delays. And how do you feel about the fact that it's just difficult, it presents an image that it's difficult to do business here in the city?
Well, there was a lot of things that was connected to the delays. First of all, like I said, it's not about change. It's about creativity and what you can do for the city and what you bring to the city. I bring about a host of legislation. I bring a host of knowledge, and I deal with my people one-on-one sometimes. They can call me anytime they find that I am available. But as far as the Salvation Army, when it was first brought to me by Belinda Kyle, the executive to the mayor, I was very enthusiastic about it and ecstatic that it would come because it brings so much here. And I would not delay it because I sit on the Ohio Homeless Shelter Board. So they are instrumental in helping a lot of kids, a lot of seniors, and a lot of students, and all the individuals that need to get out and support helping others. So as far as delays, there was no intentional delays. It was a matter of sometimes getting the land free and talking to community development and seeing what we can do about the part of the land that they needed.
I guess I'm listening to talk closer. Closer to the mic. Okay. Ms. Gowdy and Ms. Graham, and well, I guess I could ask all three of you this question. What relationships have you cultivated that could be useful to the city once you become a councilman or Ms. Thomas as a councilman?
Every day, I walk door to door, my 9 to 5, and I see people, constituents of Ward 4. And Ward 4 is a big ward, so I'm not saying every single person, but the majority of them. And one thing that you find is that a lot of people don't have any type of rapport or relationship. A lot of people I'm finding in Ward 4 don't even know who their council person is. And that is a big deal when you don't even know who to go to. That's one thing that I would say stands out above and beyond any other candidate. anything from what I've seen so far at council is that I'm highly accessible. I'm visible every day. And if I don't deliver your mail, or if I'm not in your area, and of course that's a conflict, but what I'm saying is that outside of what I do normal, I'm here. And I believe that that's a number one thing. I think that's what people need. I mean, you can get elected to office and never be seen again. Never have any other meetings or anything else to do with whoever voted for you. And that's a problem, because once you're elected to office, you should be seen more. And so I would say that's the number one thing that stands out for me. And the fact that in the nature of my job that I care, and you form a rapport with people. When you're visible and they look out for you, you look out for them. So there's a certain type of bond. And then I also live in the city and I live in this ward. So I have a vested interest in what goes on this ward as well. So yeah, that's what I feel like qualifies me and what I feel my attributes are. Thank you.
I feel that I have a good relationship with my ward. I have had my meetings. I have sent out letters. And when they call me, they can call me early in the morning from 8 until 8. Some of them calls me after 8. When they call me and I resolve an issue, I don't make an issue of it by jumping up and down, telling everybody, look at me, look at me. I do it and I move on. There are things that a council person has to be aware of. Not only connecting with the people, but connecting with what they do. Knowing the legislation, knowing how much is in the legislation and how it's going to affect the people that you represent. You were talking about issues here. You have to know if somebody brings up a piece of legislation and you sit up there and say, okay, it's all right, and then later on down the line, you get a problem. Well, if you don't know what legislation is all about and how many subjects go in legislation, or if you don't know about the funding that goes in there, say CDBG funds, how much we supposed to get, what are we supposed to do with, or who gives us money? Are we supposed to have a certificate of resources for our funding to meet our appropriations? We have to sit there and meet those appropriations. We have to be able to know just how much money to distribute, or look at a department and see if that department is over budget and why it's over budget. I myself didn't particularly like numbers, but doggone it, I'm sitting on as the chair of the finance. And I have learned a lot about numbers and funds. I knew quite a bit about funds when I sat on the Ohio retirement system, but these are little individual funds. And on-the-job training is not being able to step up and hit the ground running. I'm already there. I know it's necessary to be done. And I want to continue to do what's necessary to be done. And a change ain't gonna make no change. If you think that you can come into a position as a council person and say, okay, I want this for my ward, I want that for my ward, and arbitrarily get it, you're wrong. Look at what's happening in the government. There's different steps that you have to go through. There's different people that you have to go through. You just don't make a decision by yourself. There's other individuals that help you make that decision. Otherwise, change is always good.
Ms. Thomas,
There we go. That's right.
Well, I'm just like Ms. Grant. Don't nobody hardly know the council in Ward 2. I walked and I communicate with people and they said, who is the council of Ward 2? What is her name? And all this time, you don't know the person's name, and they've been sitting in office for such a long time, and you still don't know their name. I like to interact with people. I like to get to know who they are. I'm the type of person, if I don't know your name, I'm gonna find out who you are, you know, because I would like to see your concern about our community. Our community also has been ran by people that didn't have a vision, you know, and if you don't have a vision, you'll perish. And when I become in Ward 2 Council, I want to know the people and I want their opinion. When we go to council office and when we go sitting in the council meeting, it's only a few people, the same old people. I would like letters go out. Let them know what's happening. Let them know more than just, you know, it's just a meeting. We want you to get involved. We want you to be part of what we're talking about in your concerns, you know, and it should count for something. We are way behind, y'all. We are so far behind, it's not even funny, and it's time for us to catch up. And when I knock on people's door and pass out my literatures and stuff like that to them, they was like, oh, I'm glad there's somebody running because I never see my council, and they never answer their phone, you know, and this is a disappointment to our community. So, you know, I hope that, you know, a lot of this do change.
I want to follow up on something you just said a couple of times. You indicated that you're on the finance committee, and yes, numbers are numbers. And the recent recovery plan that was submitted to the auditors, the state auditors, was rejected because at the end of the period, at the end of the recovery period, you're still showing a deficit. And what efforts have you and council made, or what, you know, how are you going to resolve the fact that you're still showing this deficit?
Well, one thing that has happened since that commission chair, and I sit on the commission, turned down the recovery plan, is the fact that we met the other day, which the meeting was called by Mr. Wheeler, and the mayor was there, and we discussed what it is that we need to do. We also discussed with the Jack Johnson, the finance director, and the finance individual, Tish, from the auditor's office. And we were going over the recovery plan, and there is quite a few things that we can do. But one of the things that you're going to have to do is still make some adjustments. And we're looking at those adjustments to do that and come up with some.
Can you be specific?
When I be specific, we're talking about seeing where the bulk of the deficit is and what is causing the deficit. And most likely, if everybody knows, that salaries and benefits is the most costly in a city. So you're going to have to make some adjustments in the departments that are over budget and causing the deficit. And there's a lot of other things that can be done when we're talking about how the area of CDBG funds is done, how HUD is working, and how we're doing that, and what kind of area do we need to reinvent. There's a vision of what you can do, as my colleague was saying over here, as my opponent was saying. But vision just don't do by itself. Vision have to be with creativity and individuals that know how to go after and produce what they want that vision to be.
Thank you. Okay, this question is for Ms. Gowdy and Ms. Graham. Can you be specific regarding your qualifications, specifically education, any other training, work experience, or public service, any nonprofit boards or committees that you work with?
My public service actually started here in the walls of this church. If you know anything about this church, it was formerly known as St. James Lutheran. It had a hunger center. I was raised in this church. My first job after that was volunteer, because I was a camp counselor. As far as organizing, I've organized a couple of campaigns just recently with the kids as far as, and like I said, I'm a youth ambassador. I'm one of those people that outside of anything official, I organize my neighborhood. One of the few that will go get the kids and grab them up and take them somewhere, organize street cleanups. We have our own little version of our own neighborhood watch. We do a lot of things, and where I live over there, Rosedale, Allendale, Colliver, very close-knit because a lot of the houses are torn down or abandoned or a lot of people have left. But the qualifications, I think, starts from the person within. As far as any publicly known qualification as community organizing, anything official, I have not done anything official outside of my own community. And I think that's where it starts. It starts with the person. The spark starts with the person, and it starts with your community, and it goes on from there. Like I said, there has to be a shift in consciousness. And as far as the qualifications, it's not rocket science at all. These are things that every person in here can do, and it works both ways. It's not just the person going to council, we need the community behind us. A lot of people are calling me now, and I'm not even in office, saying, did you hear about this? Did you hear about that? You know about this? You're going to go to this meeting? So it's a reciprocal relationship, and I think it starts with being open to the public, and you learn as you go. These are things that we can, and if we have the right information to go by from City Hall to provide us, it shouldn't take, a month to acquire or procure a copy of the charter. Or to,
I got an open relationship with Department of Children Family Services. We support women's that go in and their families has been, kind of in a domestic relationship. And I also have a relationship with also an outreach. We have an outreach over here on 140th off of St. Clair. We also have an outreach in our home, and we also take in women's inmates if they need a shelter. We feed people out of our pockets, and we try to do things for our community, interact with our community. Like if something is going on, we let them know, this is what's going on over here. You are invited. And I also have a relationship with Help Me Grow. The mothers have babies and infants. I have a relationship with encouraging the women and encourage the men. And I counsel young youth. I counsel them how to try to stay on the right track. Even if they don't stay on the right track, I give them, some counsel. And they can always come back to me sometimes. So you're right, I should have listened. And I also support the youth that goes to court, juvenile court, system, I try to stay involved with the youth because those are our future children. It might not mean much to a lot of people, but it means a lot to me because those are just like my babies also. So, I try to stay open into the ministry. I try to keep an open mind into the ministry. and try to keep God into tone in my life, and to give back the services what somebody gave me.
Thank you. Ms. Thomas, most of the city's retail and businesses are located in your ward. What efforts have you made to increase their community service participation within the city?
First of all, I've had called a citywide meeting with my merchants, and they tell me that they weren't interested until I came to them to ask them what they wanted. They want to be able to have a organization of which they had before, association like Cleveland Heights has. And I told them that that would be forthcoming if everybody contributed in this process. So we're about that in the up and coming future as I continue being the council person. And not only that, I have reached out to beyond the city of East Cleveland to find out what it is that we're not doing to bring in, like, say, University Heights or Cleveland Heights. But there is an organization in every one of those areas that participates, like,
Can you be specific about the type of organization you're talking about?
well, that's the associations, the merchants associations. And those merchants association contribute money. If you look at Coventry, Coventry has an abundance of small shops. They're not big, they're small. And each time you look at them, they're growing. University Circle down there don't have land. They're landlocked. So what did they do? They grew up. I was suggesting also that some of the land that we have here, that we use it for some students. Bring students in. Give dorms. We have, like, University and Cleveland State, they're building dorms all around.